The calm can only last for so long. Now a member of Freehaven's council, Kari tries to put her past behind her and settle down in her new home with her ever-present lord and love, Ari. Cracks in her mind, parting gifts from the Heart Eater, make planning the upcoming spring festival a struggle, but Kari is determined to do her best, even after Ginny departs the town. When a mysterious child appears at the festival and marks Kari, all semblance of normalcy is banished. A triple threat from her past awaits beyond the walls of Freehaven, and options are thin. Not willing to spill any more blood, Kari takes it upon herself to stop them, with Ari by her side. Hello everyone, and welcome once again to the Heir's Lair. I'm your host, Jonathan Taylor. Today, as the title of this video, as well as the shirt I'm wearing, might have already given away, I am once again delving into the Demon Storm series written by Valerie Storm. This time I am starting my exploration of the latter half of the series by taking a look at the fifth book, which I'm going to show you as soon as I'm able to pick you up. Storm's Convergence. A very busy cover, if I may say so. However, all of the busyness does actually have a point. And that point is to illustrate, even if somewhat symbolically, the conflict that that Kari will be facing over the course of the book. It is not the best cover in the series so far. However, I would say that title goes to the second one. Though who knows? By series end, another one might take its place. Anyway, discussing covers aside, what can I actually say about the content of this book? Well, the summary of my impressions is that this could have been better. In many ways, this book actually has the most streamlined plot of the entire series, and therefore there are plenty of opportunities for the author to potentially explore some externalities. However, the book itself is oddly non-committal, considering that considering we're supposed to be right in the thick of the series with this one. Still, it does introduce some elements of note, and I have to say that the ways in which those elements interact with what we already know about the what has already been established about the series and backstory of the world does ignite my curiosity, and very much makes me curious to see what comes next. So if you've been following with this book series so far, which I do recommend, at least if you actually intend to read this book, and and have enjoyed it up until now, you will very likely enjoy this fifth book as well. And now that I'm done with the general impressions, it's time I delved into some specifics. The plot of this book follows Wolf Demon Kari, aka the main character of the series, as she settles into her new role as a member of the ruling council of Freehaven, one of the only towns within this world that has been established to have to be friendly towards demons. And I mean not, or rather not just friendly, but actively actively integrating them. So in a sense, it's very species blind, more or less. And she does her best to also integrate herself within this community and find her own peace in it. Leave the pains of her past behind. Unfortunately for her, some of these pains resurface, and by that I mean that several characters from her past now actively now are actively targeting her because they see her as a sizable threat that they seek to eliminate. And Kari sets out to settle the matter with them in a way that hopefully creates as few casualties as possible. Alongside her partner and co-lead of the series, arguably, Ari. Now, from what I've said so far, you might think that this book is one long action sequence. And that is not true. If anything, one could argue that the book resembles a war story just a little bit, in the sense that there are preparations for the oncoming conflict. Then you get to observe how the then you get to observe how the uh, how the lead characters move against their villains, who are who are a trio of characters from or of magic users, to be more specific, from from their mutual pasts, and then how the battle itself also unfolds, and also dealing a little bit with the aftermath. The focal point of this book is still very much the still very much the action, and I have to say that the action within this book is actually presented very effectively. It's more color commentary rather than play by play, which I generally prefer, but it does serve its purpose quite well in showcasing the impact and meaning that each new development really carries with herself. When it comes to the villains in particular, they all have their own their different set of abilities and priorities, which in turn influences how it is that they strategize and how it is that they actively take part during the fight. And I have to say that that is reflected very effectively within the action scenes, and I very much appreciated reading through and not just seeing how it is that they not just seeing them utilize their powers, but also how they can effectively strategize with their powers covering for each other, and also finding a way to synergize their attacks. And yeah, that makes them, and the threat they pose is very distinctive, very vivid, but also very interesting to follow, which I found which I very much found enjoyable. Unfortunately, their way of this manner in which they are in which they battle, or in which they wage their battles, unfortunately also has the side effect of showcasing just how limited Kari is, even though even though she has some combat experience of her own. Because really her only options, or the only options that she explores over the course of this book, are to simply punch through any offenses or defenses that get put in the way, all while she is trying to protect her less than battle proficient, or more precisely, less than magic battle proficient partner, and as she, for plot reasons, tries not to punch through these offenses and defenses too hard. And I have to say that her holding back and being split apart that way does somewhat mitigate the actual impact that that this core of the story is actually supposed to have. I get what the understanding of this kind of stacking the stakes is actually supposed to serve. It's supposed to make the hero that much more triumphant when all of these odds are overcome, or make their situation that much more tragic when when everything that gets thrown their way finally catches up to them. But I personally found that the presentation and the way in which which the battle actually unfolds isn't really as intriguing, as immersive, as captivating as it really could have been, and that really weakens the core of the story. There are other aspects of the story that do, however, appreciate, and that I think generally work quite well, even if the core doesn't really support them. The world building is oddly minimal, if one considering everything it could work for. Kari's position as a council member of Freehaven would technically allow for a broader you a broader understanding of how exactly Freehaven is actually supposed to work. But that is not something that is explored or delved into over the course of this over the course of this book. Instead, it focuses more on more on establishing it in the traditional world building manner of simply of establishing the geography and various various important locations, with not much going on beyond that. It's it's still presented at least somewhat effectively, but but the whole location is missing a spark that really make it come to life. If anything, I have to say that it is the places that get revisited over the course of this book that really make it worth the reader's while. Because we get to see what it is that how it is that those places how it is that either those places change or what those places mean to the to the people who are to the people who we see who the book showcases as interacting with them, which is a good touch when it comes to world building. Characterization fares a little bit better. There are very few new characters that are actually established over the course of this book. So a lot of this book is really focused on fleshing out the existing cast, and it does, and for the most part, it does a pretty good job of that. The aforementioned trio, villains trio, is a good example. But another good example is is actually the couple that welcomed the romantic leads of this series as they first settled into Freehaven. That being said, the standout character of this book, because every book in this series so far has at least one, is actually council member Heir. She was established in the previous book, but it is really in this book that she really comes into her own. While she was initially established as somewhat of a petty bureaucrat, the book does go out of its way to showcase that she actually has a lot of expertise and proficiency that would be necessary in order to run the city, and she is very much committed to her to her role as a council member, and to wanting to and she wants to make the best of what she has, which makes her a very interesting character to follow, even though her appearances are quite limited. Overall, this book is oddly non-committal in terms of the what it is that it can actually do or actually present over the course of its over its pages, with a lot of the ideas that it does present, while being good, being unfortunately underutilized. My final rating for Storm's Convergence is a 3 out of 5. And yeah, that was my review. Thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed it, well then please like the video, maybe even share it wherever you think other people will also like the video. If there is anything you'd like to add, either to the book itself or to my review of it, that's what the comment section is for. And if you want to see when my next video gets released, well then please subscribe, and ideally also ring the bell or do whatever else YouTube will ask of you in order to keep you notified. My books, the first of my own Heir to the Empire series, The Next Generation and A Path Not Taken, are available at various book retailers under their respective master links in the description down below, right past my social media links, which I would suggest you check out should you choose to. I also have a second channel where you can hear me talk about whatever crosses my mind, really, though I'll typically still be doing narrative analyses, but of works outside of the print medium. So if that sounds interesting to you, go ahead and check it out. If, however, you want to hear more about my thoughts on the print medium and selected works therein, then I suggest you stay on this channel and go for my extensive backlog of book reviews, writing advice, and miscellaneous connected topics. If that doesn't interest you either, then I suggest you go ahead and do whatever you want the rest of your day, because it is your day after all. And yeah, that was it for me. So until next time, I am Jonathan Taylor, and this has been the Heir's Lair.